As South Africans prepare to welcome the new year, the SPCA has sounded the alarm and fireworks and the terror that they bring to animals, as well as the severe distress caused to pets and wildlife by these explosions. The organization warns that loud bangs trigger extreme distress, causing pets to panic and flee their homes, get lost, or even just become injured in accidents. Lighting them near animals, hospitals or petrol stations is strictly prohibited, and it can also lead to hefty fines. Let's get more on this. SPCA spokesperson Samantha Stelli now joins us this morning. Samantha, good morning, and thank you for your time with us here on the SABC at this hour.
Good morning, and good morning to your viewers.
Samantha, I mean, obviously, we've seen the impact that this has had on animals, wildlife, farm animals as well. But I think just for context sake, perhaps you could just speak to why fireworks scare animals so much more than any other loud noises that we hear every single day, physiologically, psychologically. What is that impact?
It's a question we get very often, and the answer is that if you compare the sound of fireworks to that of, say, a thunderstorm or lightning, that kind of bright flash, animals can sense the change in pressure that accompanies the oncoming thunderstorm. So they prepared for those loud sounds. Whereas with fireworks, it's very unexpected. It's a very unexpected flash of light, a bang of loud noise, and it can continue for hours, whereas a thunderstorm will be over often in minutes. So that is the main difference, and it's because of their highly sensitive hearing that these loud bangs can be so traumatizing for them.
Well, thank you for speaking to that, because when we actually look at the reality of the day and what happens at national shelters, I mean, how bad does it usually get for shelters after New Year's Eve, and how many extra animals do you typically take in?
So this is the worst time of year for animal shelters across South Africa, and the SPCA included, because we do get a huge influx of animals. And those are stray animals, animals that have been so frightened by fireworks that they've escaped their properties and become lost, but also abandoned animals. So if people are traveling, sometimes they don't make provisions for their pets, and their pets are then abandoned. So we do see a big spike in the number of animals coming into our shelters over the festive season.
What are then some of those typical stories that you've heard about a pet that's been affected by fireworks? And also with this behavioral changes, is it long-term in terms of the impact that it has on animals at large?
So the worst kind of issue we see over this period is the injuries. Because animals are so traumatized by these sounds, they become frantic in their attempt to escape those noises. So they will try their utmost to get off the property, away from the sound. And this includes impaling themselves on spikes or jumping through glass windows, getting hit by vehicles when they're running across the road in terror. So the injuries can be really severe. And in some cases, it can cause lasting trauma and anxiety in animals.
Because there are obviously rules and regulations that have been passed. I wonder if you could speak to some of those do's and don'ts when it comes to the usage of fireworks in residential areas and specific areas. And compounded to that question, if someone does find a terrified stray animal running into the streets on New Year's, what should they actually be doing to safeguard them?
So the use of fireworks will vary from province or region, and it's all due according to the municipal bylaws. So what we usually recommend people do is look at their bylaws because, for example, in the area where I live on New Year's, fireworks are allowed from 11 till 1. But like I say, that's going to vary from region to region. So we urge people just to check, but obviously we would prefer people don't use fireworks. If you do see a stray or injured animal, make safety your first priority. An animal that is traumatized or injured will try and defend themselves. So only pick up a stray animal if it's safe for you to do so, and then take it directly to your nearest SPCA. Or if it's unsafe to do so, call your nearest SPCA. They've got the trained personnel that can come and assist you.
I wonder even how important proper identification is, microchipping as well, perhaps ensuring that, you know, your area is safe, safely fenced as well during this time. What advice do you have on that front as well?
No, definitely. I think making sure that your pet's identity, whether it's a tag on their collar or their microchip, that the details are up to date, so that if your pet does get lost and the SPCA takes them in, they can identify the owner and get you in contact with your pet. But what we recommend people do, if you know that your animal is sensitive to fireworks, is to make sure that you stay at home with them during that period. Keep them in a nice, calm, warm space. Close the curtains just to buffer the sounds of the fireworks and the bright lights. And if possible, put on some calming music. You can also speak to your vet. There are a variety of calming supplements available, so we always advise people a few days prior to New Year's Eve to go and speak to their vets and find out if there's a supplement that they can use just to aid their pets in being a little bit calmer over that period.
Yeah, thank you for speaking to that. I wanted to explore that as well. Even if we're looking at alternative ways to celebrate that ensures there is animal welfare, what are those alternatives from your vantage point?
So that's exactly what we do urge people to do over this period, because fireworks are beautiful and they are exciting, but they're just a few moments of fun for you, but they can have lasting impacts on animals. So we just urge South Africans to celebrate this period with a little bit of kindness and compassion for other sentient beings.
Samantha, I'm looking at the messaging, obviously, because we hear this every year, particularly around, the holidays. And I wonder how effective the message is landing. So at this point, how important is the role of the media as well? And even as you continue with your communique, what sort of message would you want the public out there to really understand, pet owners as well? What do they need to hear as we edge closer to New Year's?
That's why this kind of platform is so essential, and we're really grateful to have the opportunity to speak to South Africa. And again, just say to them to be kind and compassionate and to understand that animals do react very negatively to fireworks. And it's not only our domestic animals, but it's wild animals as well. So it can have a great impact on animals across the spectrum. So it is a message that we send out every year, and we just hope every year that people will hear our message and understand how important it is to be kind and compassionate over this period.
Yeah, you spoke about the various bylaws in different areas, different provinces as well. And so at this point, do you think we need a stricter ban or control on the use of fireworks? Ultimately, what's your vision from the SPCA's vantage point with regards to that?
No, of course, from the NSPCA standpoint, we would love a complete ban on fireworks across the country. Unfortunately, at this stage, that's not possible. So that's why we just ask people to celebrate in kinder ways, in quieter ways.
Contacting you, also becomes important. You mentioned that you are open. Talk to us about the personnel that are going to be working the lines as well, how people stay in contact if they do need to reach out.
Sure. There are SPCAs countrywide, and we are all on standby during this period. So each SPCA will have emergency staff available if there are animals in need. There are emergency numbers available for each SPCA, and the NSPCA has a directory of all SPCAs on their website. So if you are uncertain about your local SPCA, sorry, that's my dog just giving his encouragement in the background. We urge you to go onto our website so that you can locate your nearest SPCA and contact the emergency number for any assistance that you need.
Okay, is there a national number that we can also contact you by any chance, or is it specific to the area you're in?
It's specific to the area that you're in, because we have SPCAs that then service their local areas.
Okay, perfect. Thank you for that clarity. Even, if we're looking at the issue of law enforcement and the gaps that still remain, how do you weigh in on that front as well, given that people are still bypassing some of those bylaws?
It's difficult for us to talk about the bylaws because those are regulated by the municipality. So it's hard for us to say how those work and how it affects the use of fireworks. All we do is we know the effect that fireworks have We see it every single year, and we would wish that people don't use fireworks. That's what it comes down to.
All right, so let's see how people comply this year. Thank you for your time, for the messaging as well. Perhaps also just the impact that it's having on animals and their welfare. Let's monitor it as we edge closer to New Year's. Samantha, thank you for your time. SPCA spokesperson Samantha Stelli speaking to us about the use of fireworks, the terror that they bring to animals, perhaps looking at alternative ways to celebrate, and also compliance with those bylaws as per the municipalities and the provinces. Again, thank you to her for joining us at this hour.